afternoon.
Are we up and running?
I hope so. If we go down, we'll just do what we did last week. We'll come on again.
We still haven't found the gremlins.
No.
They're in there somewhere.
I think they're in California.
Do you think they're in? I think they might be in California.
We've tried everything. We're talking about why the feed keeps cutting off the last few weeks, and I think it's because the software in California is glitching. We can't get in touch with them yet, but we shall persist, and we'll just come back on. If we get cut off, we'll just come back on. But we've got super fast broadband, so there's no reason, other than Carter's upstairs with his eight phones and 9 Xboxes or whatever. I don't know, but anyway. So excuse me while I just activate the video in the background. In a minute. Hasn't come up yet.
It's just comforting to know that we are up and running. Yeah, looks
Yeah,
as
I
if
know.
there's something there.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, okay. Well, this is going to be too noisy. We're going to have to turn this down.
So what happened to the weather? I'm sorry, I'm not enjoying this. I don't mind a day, the garden enjoyed it. 2 days okay, but I mean this is...
It's desperately bad out there today and yesterday.
I think it's just been saving it up.
Low pressure, and every time I saw the forecast, there was this big wodge of cloud, and every wodge of cloud, which is a technical term,
I was going to say,
it just goes up, and Harren's straight slap bang in the middle of it, and we've had torrential rain here, so much so that was nothing but a trickle 2 days ago. That's Knocken Gorge, and we went up there this morning and got drenched again. The only good thing about the weather for us is that although Dusty gets very, very wet, when he's dry and fluffy afterwards, he's gorgeous because he goes all these different colours.
And the wind, it's not just the rain.
It's just been awful. People are losing fruit trees. I've lost half of my plum tree.
My sunflowers are still there. Mind you, I have stapled them to the side of the shed. I didn't staple the sunflowers. I've tied them on and
your giant pepper plant.
They're still my giant. I found it. I have an apology. It was Cameron, my neighbour, that gave me them, because when I got home last week, he said, "I gave you the sunflowers. I told you there were sunflowers."
You know it's bad weather on Aaron when we've actually got more than 40 people watching already. You see. Otherwise, they're all outside.
They'd be outside.
Beer. Yeah.
I cut my grass in the rain yesterday.
Was it Barb Torp that said something very nice about us last week?
I think she said that
Was
we
it
made
nice
her
about
smile. We made her smile.
Oh,
We're
really?
happy. We're happy people. We are happy.
All my naysayers
We are happy
calling me
people.
miserable. Well, maybe they were just talking about you, actually, but anyway.
So what is the forecast for the week? Are we going to get some nice weather back?
Yeah. Tuesday, maybe a bit of Wednesday, and then a bit later on. The long-term forecast at this time of year, I've noticed, is always a lot better than it actually might be when it comes.
I have ordered, because of course the non-essential shops are going to be opening as of next week, which is really good news.
Yep.
And I have ordered a really robust gazebo to put outside the studio, so that if people come up, they don't even need to come in. They can see from the door. I'll have some things, and I've got the gazebo to keep them sheltered. So I'm quite excited about that.
So, yeah. So we're all opening up. Not all of us. We're not yet, because we're totally dependent on tourism. So we'll wait until we see what kind of schedule CalMac is sticking to. If you are listening and watching from further away, there have been so many different reports, even from CalMac staff that I've spoken to in the same day, about what's happening. The latest is that I think there's 2 boats running in about 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I think that's what it said on the website. Well, no, it's not on the web. On the website,
You
they
have
haven't
to go.
updated it.
Well, you have to go onto CalMac website, and there's about 8 different links on the update. Normally, the update will just say, it's cancelled, or
off due to technical difficulties.
Sometimes it'll say normal, but at the moment you've got a paragraph of stuff to read through or two, and then you've got all these links within that as well. So I think they are, they're trying to keep up as well, and they're getting a lot of pressure from the likes of the Arran Ferry action group here that I was involved in a video, and I think there was quite a lot of other people involved in that.
I think tomorrow and Monday there's something happening with that.
I think there was quite a lot of, I think this is mostly to do with pressure from the community rather than CalMac itself. I was a bit put off with their sort of, yes, we're back in action sort of message. that they posted. You didn't know about this until you came in. You would think, well, like the rest of us, all the shops that are opening up, they're all, welcoming people back. The new products are coming out. They've got all this COVID awareness stuff that you've got to, that's fair enough. I don't mind that.
There is a feeling of excitement.
There is.
People are getting organised.
Genuine,
they're redoing their shops to make it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shops changing, which we're going to cover in a minute, about what they're now going to be doing rather than what they're renowned to be doing. So for those locals that don't know, you'll get to find out about that, and certainly for people listening from elsewhere. But I think everyone's fairly excited with this cautious. Yeah, we've done all right. We've actually been very lucky on our own. And CalMac put this up, which I just find is completely anti customer service type attitude at this time of year. Yes, we don't like abuse. Nobody likes abuse, but it's like everybody on Arran opening up with a big sign saying we don't want shoplifters.
It's kind of heavy-handed.
It's
I
very
find
negative.
that very negative.
Yeah.
And I know that. I mean, there's no reason for abuse. I agree with the sentiment there, but not with that. I think.
Well, I know the locals the locals and the friends I've got working CalMac down here have had quite a bit of abuse over the last few months, as though they always have. I mean, they always get it, and that's part of the job. But I think the head office coming up with something like that. I would rather see Mr. Drummond, the chief exec, sitting on the boat, answering people's questions himself. If he felt there was going to be any abuse, let him get on the boat and be responsible for his feedback, and maybe he can then explain things. But he's very, very difficult to find and track down. I don't even know what he looks like, but I think he should be at the forefront of messages and videos and updates and all this kind of thing. We just get these messages and pictures coming through. Which,
that's a bit over the top.
Anyway.
But shops are opening and it's exciting. I've put I've got an exhibition upstairs in Arran Active, so that's another wee thing.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that. And when I was in putting the exhibition up, I noticed they've got some really cool shoes in the sale, and lots of other boots. People's boots will be worn out because they've been doing so much walking.
Gardening,
and gardening.
Getting for your welly boots.
Lots of really nice nomad clothes. There's some really nice things in there.
It's
one of my favourite shops. And as I say, some of the studios are going to be opening. Not everyone's opening. Lynn and I, Lynn's Art, which is as you come up Middle Road before me and then you get to me, we've decided we're going to see how it goes with a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just doing a 12 till 3. And we've both got gazebos. We're keeping... It's easier to do it because the studios are really small, so people don't have to actually come in the studio, and we'll have some things they can handle.
I think for your road as well, that if people are just after County Carpets, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And you just go straight up. If you take a pair of secateurs up with you, because it's getting...
Yeah, it's a wee bit. I was going to take the strimmer out. We don't get... The thing is, it's a small studio. Both of us are small studios. We don't get that many people coming up. But if people are coming up, then we have made provision to make it safe for everyone. Right. And you can still see what we're doing.
Okay.
So, and there will be more information going up both on Facebook, I think, and then Banner and the tourist office and what other studios are doing.
Say hello to Alison Page.
Oh, hello, Alison.
Hello. She's been emailing me last week about projects and stuff.
Good. It's a definite feeling of optimism, I think, on the island. There's also, it is a wee bit scary, we're now having to look at how do we keep everybody safe. So yeah, we'll see.
Scotland's doing very well generally.
We are. We're doing. I think we've had 3 full days with no new cases.
So it's doing quite well. So how are they going to
on the other
keep that? I don't know. Don't start.
Okay.
We had a small debate earlier on. Heather was nearly outside broadcast, but we were out this week. This was the first time we've been out in a roving reporter mode.
Yep. After our session from the shed.
Yes, I enjoyed that thoroughly. I got up just as they were closing and
carried all my gear and harps and
Heather's gear down the garden path, which was about that narrow. Yeah, that was fun. I felt a bit like Donald Trump going down his ramp,
Well, I appreciated it.
But after that, we went to Dougray Estate, and I haven't been around the back of Dougray Lodge for a long time. You can't really, you don't normally drive in because it's not open to the public, as it were.
I always think it looks as if it's very private. You can't, but it continues on to beautiful walks. So,
right. Okay.
on. But the towers have all been. I mean, there's some
Yep.
huge work been done there, and it's fabulous. It
It's
looks
it's
really
an
lovely.
amazing viewpoint there with that huge lawn they've got. Anyway, we were down there to meet up with a girl called Swiss Susie. That's not her full name.
Well, her name is Susie, and she is Swiss.
Yes. We don't even know her surname. Well, she told us, and then we got stuck with it. So, but do you want to explain what Susie's doing?
She's doing lots of things. She's making salamis and smoked venison. I don't know. I mean, lots of different.
She's not only making this.
No, she does it from.
She does it from a point in production where you would never think to start. She's actually going out and shooting the deer, hanging it up, butchering it, and she will then go forward and make salamis. We've got some pictures of her salamis here. She gave some samples to us, and
I'm really sorry. I was going to bring them in.
I was hoping that Heather was going to bring them in today, but that was Heather's.
They were really, really yummy.
Yeah, Heather ate everything. So
I had help. Fiona was really enjoying them. She thought it was. I mean, she's a hard person to please when it comes to stuff like that. But no, she said they were really good.
I've actually got a picture of it in the packet somewhere as well. That's the only chance I got to see of it.
Yeah, I kind of snatched all of them and.
There it is. There, we'll just put that one up. So that's So we've got Susie in Duggery, and she's making it now, but she's also. She's taking over one of the outbuildings at the bit at the back, isn't she?
Still needs a bit of work. I think
a little bit of work. Yeah, it was in there quite a
lot of work. Quite a lot of work.
Yes, very
but
early stage.
She's saying she's going to be running classes on how you can make your own sausages and how you can do this. Some of make some of the produce she's doing, which would be fun. It's really interesting. I mean, even if you're not a huge fan of that type of food, it's really interesting how it becomes like that, with the salting and.
Mm-hmm. So it's good. So this is Susie, and she's not set out for wholesale big stuff just yet. But you can do a Facebook search for Swiss Susie and see what she's up to, and she is one of quite a lot.
Well, it's strange.
It's every business that's starting up on Arran seems to be heading in the similar direction at the moment.
This was actually through something else. I met Andrew Bell, who's got Arran Artisan Foods. So he's doing something similar. He's doing the smoked sausage, smoked duck. He's also making his own butters and his own cheeses. It's on a small scale, and it's all locally handmade.
Yep.
So he, again, because of the lockdown and everything, has got so far. I mean, he's up to date, I think, with his the EHO and things like that, but he's not in production yet. So I'm looking forward to tasting some of the things he's got.
I think it's fair to say that the word artisan seems to be the word of the year for Arran at the moment. Everyone seems to be using it to put out this, or a lot of people are using it to put out this new vibe for
locally produced foods.
And
we also have Crofter's Larder. I mean, they're doing something similar.
And we've heard as also that I think the Old Peoterium are starting up some kind of takeaway deli. That's just I haven't heard directly from Chris yet, but that's potentially what's happening down there.
But they've always used local produced things too.
Yeah.
So I mean, they do, and you can. Yeah. It's really nice.
It does rather nice sausage rolls, Chris, down at the Old Peoterium.
Yeah, they're very nice. I like the vegetarian ones.
And then more in Brodick, we can now. I've just checked with Chris that I can tell you this, but the Little Rock Cafe are also doing a delicatessen. We've got big signage coming for them this week. So that'll be quite interesting to see what's on offer there. I know they're going to do some wines, red wines and stuff. So they're going to have a wine counter.
Does that mean they're going to be licensed for wine at the table?
They're already licensed. You can already have a beer there, but so you'll be able to go in and buy your deli items there as well. So it's a kind of a weird thing that people are all, generally quite a lot of the places are moving in the same direction. And I just hope, I mean, we're talking about this offline, but I hope it's going to be a situation where it's a sort of transient, movable thing for the winter, because I think that's when the locals may require just something a bit more normal, down to earth, moving into winter. But we'll see what happens.
I mean, the Salamisi thing, they're beautiful, but they're more expensive.
Yeah.
But it is, everyone has a different view on this. I mean, they are really, really nice, and there's no chemicals in them that you really don't want to know about. And it's lovely to support all the local businesses. So this is great. You know, we might end up with a reputation as Arden being a
It's already
artisan larder.
It's good. She knows how much I hate that word. It's like eclectic. I'm just waiting for Aaron eclectic something.
I'll slot that in at some point.
Yeah,
I will do.
Right. So yeah, we've got lots of business changes. Other than that, I don't think there's anything too significant business-wise changing on the island. If you have any business that's up and coming and you want to buzz us, then let us know. We were hoping to get down to see the alpacas this week, but they've asked us to go down next week, so we should have a video of that next week. Now our video has stopped here, Heather, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it. In fact, I'm going to go and shut the camera. You keep talking.
Well, just since we're still talking about food, because it's one of my favourite subjects, Bay stores or Bay kitchen stores in Whiting Bay now have the pick and mix, which is, I don't know if you meant to call it pick and mix. I don't think there's jelly babies in there, but they have cashew nuts, grains, rice, lentils, you name it. You can go in and there's just a whole wall of things. You take your own container down. At the moment, obviously because of COVID, they're serving it. You tell them what you want and they're serving it. But once we get through this, we'll be able to go in with our container and just take as much as you want.
Do you know Yvonne's our editor now? Every time something happens on our screen, Yvonne's there telling us exactly what's going on.
So that's good. Thank you.
Yvonne,
we need that because it's very difficult. They're all running at different times.
Yeah, we've got different cameras running different screens.
So that's why I don't wear my glasses when we're doing this, because it just confuses me if I can see it up too close.
Well, hopefully we've caught up and our voice is now in connection with our...
Did I say that Bay Kitchen stores have cashew nuts in a great big... You just go in with a bucket.
So it's pick and mix, but you can't actually pick?
Not at the moment, no.
Right. So it's point and mix.
Point, and they put it in your little container.
Okay.
Which is also good because they're not using all... You take your own container, it's reusable. You take your milk bottle down, they'll fill your milk bottle up.
What with? Just with milk?
Yes.
That's not fun.
Well, you could take your milk bottle down and fill it with cashew nuts, I suppose. If it's your container.
Can you fill it with gin?
No, but you can buy the nice gin there because they make the Arden gin. So yeah, you can always buy your gin there.
Good.
Are we still on food?
Steph is saying hello, and I can see and hear you.
That's good.
Good.
Good, yeah.
Hey, things are working. We haven't got to minute 28. When we get to 28,
that's usually when it cuts out.
It generally tends to blow up.
It's usually when it cuts out. Woodside Farm.
More food.
Yeah.
Is it artisan?
I think this island is really taken off with the food business.
It's because the weather's been good. We've all got potatoes, like millions of potatoes.
Yeah, we're having our own potatoes tonight. My potatoes are now at a size where they're respectable enough to dig up.
I got 2 off one plant the other day. 2 potatoes.
I thought you dug all yours up.
No, that was the last 2.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a very light dinner. It wasn't much, but it was something.
No, Woodside Farm, Jenny and Andy McDonald. I read this in the banner. But they've actually managed to take on 6 part-time staff, and they are growing more. I think they got grant funding to help them with this, more fruit and veg. And on a Tuesday in the small co-op car park and a Wednesday at the Kinloch car park, you can go down and it's a pay what you can or donation basis. So if you can afford it, pay what you think it's worth or pay a bit more to help someone else out. If you really can't afford it, take what you need and, you know,
pretty good.
It'll work out. It's a really nice idea. And their courgettes in the picture in the banner look a lot better than mine because mine were coming on quite well and then the top of them kind of shrunk. I don't know, maybe you're meant to feed them, but they're not looking as healthy as they were.
Okay. If you've got any courgette remedies,
If not, I shall go and buy some from Woodside Farm
good,
when they're out and about, because I like courgettes.
good. What else we got?
What else? Ooh, we're
You've
rattling.
You've got the
rattling
notes.
through
I know
it.
you've got the
I've
notes.
got the
I've
notes.
not. I was
I've got the
unprepared
notes.
because it was the first episode of Columbo on earlier on. It's always quite a good one. And
What year did that come out?
my priorities were 70 something.
Oh, good grief.
I was taking the dog for a walk. I was busy this morning. I made you Chelsea buns. I've made Chelsea buns this morning, and I left them in the oven a bit long, so they're good for the birds.
So Chelsea rocks now. I have a hair appointment. Woohoo!
Oh, this is. I mean, is this really as important?
Oh, yes.
I had somebody come
Big
in
time,
earlier
big
on.
time. Can I just get? Come on, girls. Just
No, I had somebody come in earlier on, walked in, and said rather than doing the business that she was expected to come in and drop stuff off, she had to tell me that she had a haircut appointment. I mean,
it's a huge thing.
it's not jealousy. I mean, I just do myself, but I just don't think it's. It didn't deserve the round of applause in the Scottish Parliament after all the stuff that's been going through there.
Oh,
recently.
it did. No,
That's
it's
the only
huge.
thing that got
Huge,
a
huge. Come on,
round of
girls,
applause.
support me here. Support me here. It's a big deal.
Mark, where are you, Mark? He's got about as much hair as I have.
Actually, I think he's got a hair appointment too.
For God's sake, Mark, don't let the side down. And nails, Alice Anderson.
Oh, nails too. Whoa.
Yeah, but can you get your nails done yet? That's the thing, because I spoke to Fiona from Island Hair and Beauty, Lorna from Island Hair and Beauty, and she says she can't do anything just yet, but then it may have changed overnight.
I don't know. I mean,
Tony
I'm
Mackenzie, you're not
sure.
helping. Not helping.
So why were you in Island Hair and Beauty? Were
I
you
wasn't.
making your hair
in the,
appointment?
I was in the co-op buying some artisan oranges, and I was talking to Lorna. So,
Okay.
right.
So what else do we
I
have?
don't know.
We now have a COVID testing unit on
We
the
do.
island at the Brodick Pharmacy, I think. I thought it would have been at the hospital, but it's not. It's
No,
Brodick
it's quite
Pharmacy.
handy. It's quite handy that it's down here in Brodick rather than having to go up there. I don't think they want to see anybody up there at the hospital really in this year.
Well, at the moment, we're still...
I know.
That's real weird,
We're still at five reported, and they'll all be. they'll all be
Obviously,
well
if you
out of
have
it now.
any symptoms, persistent cough, loss of taste, you can ask and book an appointment. You don't just turn up, you have to make an appointment.
You'll have a loss of taste if you eat one of my Chelsea buns, that's for sure.
And then I think they send it off in 24 hours, 48 hours later, you'll get the results, which obviously you follow. I think we all know what the
Yeah.
routine is.
Okay.
So yeah, but no, we do have it. That's quite good to know.
Can I just mention something about what we are doing as well just now? We've initially, when we set out doing this, we spent quite a bit of money getting it all, and we still do spend quite a bit of money getting the software licensed and all this sort of thing. We're thinking about different ways in which we can just cover our costs, for equipment and the monthly fees and everything else. So I mentioned to Heather just 2 seconds before we came on that we might be doing, or we will be doing some clothing with what's happening on Aaron's logo on and stuff like that. So like to hear back from you in the week sometime if you're up for that. It'll be something as simple as a T-shirt right up to whatever you want. We can actually get anything you like as a one-off with our first order. So if you'd like a sweatshirt or a hoodie or what was it you wanted?
A vest top.
A vest
If
top.
it's summer, I want.
And
vest
it will
top.
come embroidered with the bright colours of the WOE logo.
Which is a great conversation piece because people will say,
And
that?
we won't charge you too much, but we'll make sure there's a couple of quid that goes back into this. It's mainly the software that costs us, I think, $100 a month, and it will go back into that cost. But we are thinking about other things, how to make a little bit of money on the show. Having adverts was something we were always keen to do, but we haven't been able to do that because everyone's been shut. But we will be starting to get that back into play. So any business people watching that want to mention their business and that sort of thing,
we have been trying to do this at the moment just for free because obviously we're trying to help anyone that just get back on their feet.
Chris is talking about WOE face coverings. Absolutely. There's a possibility we can do that.
To do buffs.
Buffs, especially. We've sold tons of the other one I had. In fact, this one.
Do you have any of these left?
This one's pretty much gone. I think we've got about 20 of these ones left now.
I like the buffs.
And we were doing them just at normal retails at $8.95, but we were just doing them at $6. So if we did some Woe ones, yes, we might be able to do that. We might mix the logo in with a few other logos on the same buff though, to make it a little bit more extensive. Because just a Woe one, it'll take us a while to to sell the 8,000 that I have to buy, but no. But that's a possibility as well. But any businesses that want to advertise, want to put a little video together, either a produced video themselves or something that you've got somebody else to do like Chris, or if you want us to come down and shoot a video, then fair enough. At the moment, we're just picking who we want to go and see, basically. So, and we're covering people that haven't asked to be covered. But it would be nice just to get a 10 or a 20 quid just chucked in our general direction just to cover some bits and pieces for the broadcast. So, and of course the broadcast is always there. People do tend to come back and watch them later on. I think our audience has tailed off a little bit simply because we haven't been out and about, and we were hitting 2,000 or 3,000 at one point, and now we're up to the high hundreds, low thousands, and I think it's a time where we will start picking up again.
We'll start having guests again. That would be
nice.
And
we'll be giving out business cards to everybody that we meet, and if you want a stack of business cards to give out at your shop, just give me a shout, and we'll get those sorted out for you. So it's just generally trying to get it busier and busier towards the end of the year, so that we can really hit it next year with all sorts of bits and pieces and new technology and roving reporters and whatever else, and more guests, of course, because we've really missed having guests in.
Although it would be nice to get out and about, and I quite like the idea of being out and about.
Yeah, if it's pre-recorded, it means it doesn't crash as much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's just been strange. But as Tony McKenzie is saying about masks as well, anything like that at the moment would be good. I don't want to produce, go to the extent of getting masks done, because inevitably the sort of volumes that I normally buy, we have to go overseas for them.
I think buffs are a nice idea.
Buffs are good because they'll last forever, and that doesn't generally say coronavirus. If people stop wearing masks in Scotland because it disappears, then there's not going to be so much of a demand for it. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if people still continue to wear masks after this.
I think they'll be wearing masks for a wee while.
They do in China all the time. A lot of people wear them in Los Angeles as well because of the smog. It's not an unusual thing, and mostly Chinese people in Los Angeles. It's really funny. They take that it's a sort of hereditary thing that you just take over with you. So that's just a little sort of idea of where we are going. We're going back to where we were hoping to be.
Back to where we were.
In sort of February time, but this has been a bit different, obviously, the last few months. But we've still managed to do it one way or another.
And we really do appreciate the people that are still tuning in.
No, it's great. We still get lots of comments.
I dare say the ironing is all getting done on a Sunday afternoon.
Elaine will be there doing her ironing, and there'll be all sorts of people watching, and it's really good. I don't know how far we're not reaching as far as we used to do. I think that's another thing as well that we need to address as well. That we used to have people tuning in from all over the place, and that was people either on holiday or on cruise ships and that sort of thing. Well, naturally that's not happening at the moment. So.
I think too we just started thinking about opening
we're just having a business meeting.
Yeah, no, for phone-ins. Which I think could be a lot of fun, or it could be a real headache, but I think it could be a lot of fun. So, that's another one we'll bring in. But at the moment, it's just there's not an awful lot happening. But there is that air of excitement. Things are kicking off again, and I'm quite excited about, about the island starting to breathe again. So,
I might have some news at the end of the year too. Things are...
Times
moving in a
changing.
Strange direction. Well, maybe. We'll just see. I don't know yet. But
it's all positive. Well, I've been working. I'm working on my new website, so that's been one of my tasks. So hopefully that'll be up and running in the next few weeks.
Jolly good. Right. So, is that us without a crash? Well, we sort of...
I think maybe quit when we're ahead. I don't know. I mean, there's... I think we've covered. We've covered. I think we've covered.
Basically, we're open, and we're getting more open now, and it's really... it's really not knowing how many people are going to be coming over in the next few weeks. I think maybe the anticipation of people is a little bit more optimistic than what will happen in reality, certainly for this week. I think it'll be 99% locals coming around and filtering about. But then in 2 weeks' time, July the 15th, the hotels will be open. and I think that'll be the first real test of how we get
How
on.
it works.
How we get on with whatever the country's at. So,
Are we still going?
Alistair Dobson, or We Are Aaron Buffs. Alistair, that's a reference to the mugs that I was hoping to get through this broadcast without mention of the blinking mugs down at the co-op. No, they're not our mugs. No, the ones that
We have mugs.
the ones that Liz. Yeah, we have mugs. But those mugs we're selling about 80 a week down at the co-op, which is it's
Wow.
good because all the money's going to people that really can't afford to live at the moment as comfortably as they normally do. So that's good. But anything like that, Alistair, we're keen on looking at. And again, if we've got a nice bright logo, we could actually incorporate a whole bunch of logos on a buff. That might be quite good. Just an idea. We could do a sponsored. You could buy a bunch of buffs and have them, and that means I can order a few hundred at a time, and we don't pay for as much shipping and everything else from our friends. We'll look at that. Mark Bunyan's just joined. Did you mention the second home owners council tax rebate system? No. Is that a wind up? Mark's normally good at winding up. I don't know what's happening there. There's been a bit of
there's been a bit. I've been reading the letters on the
bit of
banner
hostility
page.
in
We
the
kind of
banner.
we almost weren't going to go there, but
no.
I think basically it boils down to, without pictures of handcuffs, be nice to one another. We may be all going through a hard time. Nobody really knows, and even if you have a different opinion, you don't have to be nasty about it.
I've got a second home one, Aaron. Well, third of one.
Does my studio count? I've got a wee sofa bed in there.
But I don't know. It's just it's a difficult one to address.
Speaking of homes, speaking of
Well, this
homes,
will change the subject.
Scottish Home of the Year. They were robbed. Sorry, I don't know if I shouldn't maybe have said that, but Andy and Nicky Surridge's house was
I think
just.
you're right.
Oh, we watched the programme. If you didn't, it's still online. It's on BBC Scotland.
It'll be on iPlayer.
It'll be on the iPlayer. And there was a home in Skye, a home in Lewis, and Andy and Nicky's home on Arran, and their home is just beautiful.
I didn't watch all of it, but one thing that Andy said right at the beginning of the bit that I did watch is that Arran doesn't have any old barns, and he's right. We don't have barns sitting around to be converted. It's the strange thing, and I'd never really thought about it before. So rather than convert a barn, he built a barn.
It's just stunning,
Built the barn
absolutely
in a
stunning,
very
and so many. The two of
luxurious
them
way.
have made it beautiful and homely. It was one of the ones that looked homely. You'd want to move in there. In fact, I think we should just all move in with them. I certainly want the kitchen. The kitchen's to die for. New York style kitchen.
What's wrong with my kitchen?
It's lovely, but I'm sorry, their kitchen is just gorgeous.
This kitchen sold me the house. If it wasn't for this kitchen, I wouldn't have bought this house.
But they didn't win, but they did really well, and beautiful. But well worth watching the programme. You can tell us what you think. So well done to Andy and Nicky too. Yeah, really good job there.
Okay. Can't wait to come over. Steph's just saying, is the Scottish border open now? Well, this is
Well.
This gets into the point where I chuck Heather out the door. I don't know. I think there's always been an ulterior motive or two going on in the background of all this, but.
Do you want me to mention, or will we just not go there?
All I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm just saying SNP might be having a little bit of an idea about this, and I'm sure I'm not alone.
It's got nothing to
thinking
do with that. We've had
Here we
no
go.
cases for 3 days.
And
Scotland
you don't want any people coming up from the south. Sorry. I'm not, this is going into territory we both agree we would never go into.
The conversation was actually that there is debate whether, because it's spiked again in Leicester, whether they're going to lock down Leicester. And I said, well, how would it work if it spiked in Lumlash? Do they lock down Lumlash? Or how would it work? Can they actually lock down just specific areas?
I would like to lock down specific people. Let's get the handcuffs out and lock down some specific people. And I can give you a list privately.
That's quite a big list there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
He's already got it written out.
Especially him. Anyway, we better quit while we're still
ahead.
marginally ahead.
And I still want a Chelsea bun, even if they are overcooked.
Okay. Right.
So thank you very much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
joining us.
We haven't locked up too much this week, and we shall see you next week, hopefully with video from the Aaron alpacas as well.
I'm looking forward to seeing the
Sadly, they
alpacas.
did lose one. If you go onto Aaron Alpaca's Facebook page, they did lose one, a little one. So we'll go down and see what they can show us, and we want to see their log cabin.
Oh,
the
yeah,
pods,
the hobbit houses.
You know whatever. All right. Say goodbye.
Bye now.